Hello and welcome back to the Photoshop for Beginners tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to take a look at the Photoshop interface and we're going to talk a little bit about workspaces. So once you create a new document or open an existing file, you will be presented with your document in the center right here, and then the rest of the interface is made up of different sections. So we're going to go over those different sections in just a minute, but first I want to talk about the workspace, because what you're seeing on your computer is probably, or most likely, different from what I'm showing you right now, because I do have my layers panel open over here on the left, and I have some collapsed panels right here as well, and that's definitely different from yours, because this is a custom workspace that I created for my personal preference and to help me streamline my workflow. So your interface probably has panels over here on the right. So you can either choose pre-made workspaces created by Adobe to help you get started, or you can customize your own by rearranging the different panels that you have available and arranging them on the interface that works for you and for your creative vision, because the artwork that you're working on is probably going to require different panels than my artwork requires. So you will probably use different panels, and then you can add those panels and move them around the interface as needed. So if I come up here to Window, we see an option here that says Workspace, and I have my custom workspace currently selected. So for your workspace, you most likely have the Essentials workspace, which is the default workspace when you first begin using Photoshop. So now I have all my panels over here on the right, and this probably looks more like what you currently have right now. And again, depending on the type of artwork that you create, you may want to try these different workspaces to see if the panel arrangements and the different panels available in that workspace are going to work for your type of projects. Now at this point, if you're brand new to Photoshop, you may not know which panels you need. So these pre-made workspaces from Adobe are a good starting point. And then as you begin working with Photoshop more and more, you can customize the panels and the location of the panels for your own personal workflow. And I'm going to show you how to customize your own workspace in an upcoming lesson. So if we go back up to Window, we're going to see all these different options right here, and these are all the different panels we have available to help us achieve our creative vision. Once you select these, they will be added, I just added the pass, over here to the right, and then you can move those around, and again I'll show you how to do that in a future lesson. For now, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the overall Photoshop interface. So up here at the top we have our menu, of course, and you can access all the tools and features of Photoshop from up here. And then just below that we have tool options. Then over here to the left we have a set of tools that we can access for our projects, and there's a total of 21 visible tools, and I say visible because there are additional tools within each one of these categories of tools. And we know there's additional tools because if you take a look at the tool icons, you will see a little icon in the bottom right, and if you click on it, you'll see a pop-up of additional tools within that category. Some tools will have more options than others, and some, like these two down here, don't have any additional tools because there's no icon there, so there's no way to access tools because there's no pop-up. Pretty obvious, I know. All right, so you may be wondering, why do we have all these extra tools when we have 21 main tools? Well, all tools give you an opportunity to help you achieve your creative vision based on what you're trying to do, but the tools themselves will not work 100% of the time on all images, and you have additional tools within these categories that will give you different options for achieving your creative vision, but they're going to apply the way that the edit or the retouching is done with the different tools. So these 4 tools right here are all retouching tools. The red eye tool is as well. But basically these main 4 are going to allow you to remove things like blemishes, subjects, objects. Maybe you have trash in your image and you want to remove those from that image, and maybe the first tool doesn't get the job done the way you want it. Well, you can then try these other 3 tools to see if you get better results. So there's no magic tool that's going to work 100% of the time. You have to get to know each tool individually, the pros and cons of each tool, or at least the limitations of each tool, so you know which tool to go to for a particular project. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time and practice to learn all these tools. I believe there's over 60 different tools to help you achieve your creative vision, and it's going to take time to learn them all and master them all. Now, in addition to all these different tools, like I mentioned up here, we have tool options. So every tool that you select will give you additional options up here to help you fine-tune what it is you're trying to achieve. So here again, we have the healing brush tool, and we have 3 different types of that same tool. So we can use content aware, we can use create texture, and we can try proximity match, and each one is going to give us a different result. One of these 3 may work perfectly, but if not, we may need to come down and try the healing brush tool. And once I selected that tool, the tool options up here for that one changed as well. So there's a lot of information to take in and learn when it comes to using Photoshop for our creative vision. And that's why this premium course is over 32 hours, because there's a lot of information to learn about, and you can't just learn about it in an hour or 2. Okay, so we have our tool options, our tools, and then over here to the right, of course, we've already talked about the different panels, and that those panels are located inside of here. Now we do have some information down here as well that will allow us to choose the different features of Photoshop, and we're not going to go into those right now. We will possibly go over those in a future section. But for now, that's a great overview of the Photoshop interface and workspaces. Okay, so that's it for this Photoshop tutorial. In the next tutorial, we are going to take a look at how to save our images and our files, and even export them to different file types. So if you're ready to learn all about that, let's do it.